Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This one is a community cast sent in by Hero of Rome, who I've showed a lot of his replays on the channel before, and he's always playing Empire. So this is interesting to see him actually playing as the High Elves, which is very cool. But he is against the Empire, so there's still going to be Empire. It seems unavoidable with Hero of Rome. So anyway, here you can see he's got Techless. Techless is just great. He's got so much utility. Regrowth, gets so much healing in. The Net of Ammontok is so useful for stopping any troublesome units, you know, denying cavalry a charge, or, you know, even just stopping cheap spears if the cavalry engagement has already started, you know, from helping out. It's great just to be able to pin something in place. And Enfeebling Foe, hugely beneficial just to, you know, help sway engagements in your favour. So a lot of utility out of Techless. Absolutely love him. And the Potion of Shoroi means that he can keep healing up, which is pretty damn good to be able to just heal himself with something and then use regrowth on other units. And there are a lot of things that need healing here. As you can see, the Fireborn, these guys are very expensive, but they do have anti-large and just fantastic combat stats. These guys are brutal. Absolutely lethal units here, so absolutely great to see the Fireborn. Also, you can see some other Dragon Princes, so a lot of strength in the cavalry here. But he does have some archers on either side, and some Sisters of Avalon as well. So Sisters of Avalon just have great armor-piercing missile damage, and they can hold out in melee, but it's a waste to have them in melee, really. Unless they've run out of ammunition. But absolutely brutal. I love the Sisters of Avalon, really sturdy. He's got some spearmen on the sides, and what's quite interesting is he does actually have a load of White Lions in the front. And White Lions, they don't tend to be the frontline force for High Elves in this matchup. I rarely see that. I usually see more sort of spears. They tend to go a bit wider and, you know, have sort of Loathed Sea Guard in the back. So this is actually a little bit different, which I like. No one really expects the White Lion, so suddenly they perform better than they otherwise would. You know, they can defeat state troops pretty well. They can hold up against great swords, but it's a pretty wide line considering they're, you know, he's gone for mid-tier rather than high-tier infantry. So it's pretty cool to see. Also, right in the back, very sneaky, we have the Grey, who are Shadow Warriors. So they have Loic Shroud, which is actually active straight away for that speed bonus, but it allows them to stalk. Obviously, they're hidden in the woods already. I'm pretty sure this is just for the speed bonus to try and get them into position quicker. But these guys are great. You know, really good range, good missile damage. And, yeah, they're pretty good. Pretty damn good. So this will be very sneaky, these guys coming in the back. They're going to be able to do a lot of damage to sort of, you know, any artillery pieces that are in the back, you know, to kill the artillery crews nice and quickly, or to handgunners or anything like that. They can get the drop on them, which is very cool. Also, if we look at their stats as well, they have good melee stats as well, at 45 melee attack and 46 defense. That's pretty formidable. So, yeah, I do like those guys. So, the Empire player here. So, not actually a lot of artillery. I was expecting some artillery, but no, he's got a couple of handgunners. He's got a Witch Hunter. Witch Hunters have very good missile damage. They can really get some work done to very expensive targets, and great for sort of Lord sniping. They're really useful. Also, he's got the Zintler's Reichsguard. He's got Reichsguard there. He's got even more Reichsguard, and he's got the Royal Altdorf Graphite. So he's got a lot of cavalry. So it's going to be difficult to stop all these guys from getting the back line and doing damage. He's also got the General of the Empire, which I'm seeing more often nowadays, which I think is good. It's nice to have a bit of variety. The General of the Empire, you know, a bit cheaper than sort of Boris or Franz, but he can still get a lot of work done. And against the High Elves, it's actually very useful to have this, because he does have the Charmed Shield, which will give him some damage resistance and missile parry, which is pretty damn good, to be honest. You know, that's really going to help. So, also, you can see he has some swordsmen as his frontline units, which is a good call. Normally, you just see spears for that sort of melee defense, but no, he's gone slightly more offensive. He wants to be able to cut through the enemy spearmen, which is pretty cool. He does have some spearmen, of course, on the outside, because you got to have some spearmen, right? I mean, the cavalry is so dangerous for the High Elves. You've got to bring some spearmen to help counter that for, you know, nice and cheaply. So that's the army. Oh, he does have a Jade Wizard too, so he will be able to heal up all of his cav, which is definitely worthwhile. And that's about it. So let's get a move on. So straight away, you can see slight remanœuvering here. Empire are moving up, but of course, yeah, the White Lions are going to struggle against handgunner fire. So that is the dangerous thing. Having some cheap shields just to take that handgunner fire is pretty handy. But of course, he does have a lot of archers that can get on top of the handguns very quickly. You know, handgunners not very good at being shot by archers. They are not good at that. So there's definitely counters for sort of each other's armies in each other's armies, I suppose. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. A lot of it is going to be down to how well they can each utilise their units. So here we can see the Fireborn are poised. The Dragon Princes, they're moving up a bit. You want to get a bit of a tighter formation here, just so nothing can sneak in. So the Spearman reposturing. Techless is on the edge because he wants to be able to net anything. that he can net, you know, around here. If something starts charging in, he wants to be able to stop it. So it's good to have Teclis on this side for now. But you can see there are a load of spearmen and some archers sort of hidden in the trees here. So the spearmen definitely going to be a good ambush if these Rights Guard get in. But the archers, I mean, they're not necessarily going to have the best sort of fire from there. But I think they may be hidden. Yes, they are hidden. So that is something. But at the moment, a lot of posturing. No player really wants to engage just yet, because this is all pretty dangerous. We can see the Empire player is getting a nice flank here, and with the Rights Guard going the other way, it could definitely spell trouble. So very cool so far. So yeah, no shots fired yet though. No shots fired. So here you can see the Charmed Shield has been used, along with Foe Seeker. So now that the archers start to fire in, you know, you want that Charmed Shield to stop them from getting killed. Because, of course, now the Sisters of Avalon are firing. That can do an overwhelming amount of damage. But with him bobbing and weaving, Teclis doesn't want that. Teclis is going to stop that happening, and now the Sisters of Avalon can get clean volleys off. And the Charmed Shield has run out. So he waited until that had run out before netting him. So that way, he can't get the benefit of his Charmed Shield while he's stuck there. So very good baiting that in. The front lines have engaged, the handgunner's getting a lot of damage in, and the Zintler's Rights Guard, fantastic just to charge through and move on. But they're getting a little bit caught up, and now the Dragon Princes are moving in here. Accusation has been used on them, which is actually doing some damage. The General of the Empire taking massive damage right now, but I think we're going to see a regrowth to get his health back up. But still, that is a huge amount of cost, you know, early on in the battlefield. But of course, all the cavalry is fine. They're all able to move in. They haven't been shot at yet. Now, though, they are getting a bit shot at, but there's nothing defending these guys right now. These Dragon Princes, a regrowth has been put on them, but they've taken a ton of damage in this engagement against the Zintler's Rights Guard. And they're getting healed too. So now, unfortunately, the Sisters of Avalon are getting charged. But look at this. They've taken the Royal Lord of Griffites down to half health, just from those volleys while they were charging in, which is crazy. Sisters of Avalon can really do a lot of damage against units like that. And now, the Fireborn are able to run in. You see the Rights Guard were getting wrapped up by the cheap Spearmen and the Dragonborn before, but the Dragonborn again have taken a lot of damage, way more than I thought would be, you know, possible at this stage of the battle, so it's pretty impressive. And unfortunately, Teclis is being chased down. So the Dragon Princes are moving in to try and defend, and yeah, basically just all the infantry has just moved way in. You know, way out into the open here. And the handgunners, completely unaccosted, they're able to shoot at whatever they like, because all the archers are wrapped up. They're not able to fire in and stop these guys. But the Grey are moving in around the back. So here you can see the Royal Lord of Griffites. They have Enfeebling Foe on them, which is going to completely demolish their combat stats. It puts them down to 12 and 14, which is pretty pathetic. So great to be able to hit them with that. But, you know, they are getting healed up, and now that has run out, they're going to be able to fend off these guys pretty well. The Rights Guard can take a lot of the damage from the Fireborn. Cheap Spearmen are going to help, but these Fireborn are pretty overwhelmed. There are a lot of numbers here, and more Rights Guard are coming in. With a very nice charge bonus of 62, that is going to hurt. So the archers trying to move back. Sisters of Avalon able to start firing again. But as you can see, Teclis is just getting murdered. The Witch Hunter is a great tool for taking out someone squishy like Teclis. The Witch Hunters are great for dealing with spellcasters. So Teclis getting shot at even more, and that accusation may kill him. So pretty rough. And yeah, the General of the Empire, he's got a lot of health back. He's charging in to try and deal with the Fireborn that are really struggling. And now Teclis is dead. So there's nothing to heal. There's no spells at the High Elves' disposal anymore. So this is really bad. The Fireborn are running away. You know, 14 models, not great, and they cannot heal. So they're going to be in a very bad position. But luckily, point blank range, yeah, the Dragon Princes are pinning this stuff down, and the Sisters of Avalon are able just to wail on this guy, doing a lot of damage. And here you can see the Grey are whittling these units down. So here, you know, the Swordsmen are fighting White Lions, but these White Lions have managed to finish off the Swordsmen with the help of the Grey, and they're able to move back and get on top of this stuff. And here you can see the Outlaw Griffites, they've broken, the Rights Guard have broken. These Rights Guard are still going though. But the General of the Empire is toast. He is being absolutely punished, and there's still some spearmen here to just basically cover the archers here. There's not enough stuff to be able to get in around the back. So these archers are pretty safe right now, which is definitely bad for the Empire player. But he still has a lot of guns. He has a lot of guns to help finish off the cavalry, and that means these Rights Guard might be unaccosted if they can take out these Dragon Princes. But at the moment, they are really busy. The Grey are shooting them in the back, and so they're not able to really capitalize all that much. And now the Spearmen are putting pressure on them. The Witch Hunter might have been better just to get bogged down by the spears. And, you know, he'll be recharging Accusation every now and then. Be able to use that on things like the Fireborn and the Dragon Princes, which will do a bit of damage. You know, they don't have the hugest model counts. And Accusation is better against sort of single model targets, really. So the smaller the unit, the better. But These guys have very little health left, so Accusation will help. Just having them bog down the spearmen and letting the handgunners shoot things, that would be great. But unfortunately, they are getting absolutely murdered by all the archer fire now, because there is nothing putting pressure on the archers anymore. So that is definitely painful. You can see, though, way over here, the General of the Empire did actually rally, but he's wavering even away from combat. So he's just going to have to keep the General of the Empire out of the way, I think, or else he's going to die pretty quickly. So here's some archer fire coming in, trying to deal with the handgunners. Unfortunately, the White Lions' race apparently aren't a great match against swordsmen. Swordsmen are able to keep them at bay, which is a little bit crazy. But I mean, a lot of the points that you're spending on White Lions, that's for the armor piercing. And against state troops that don't have a lot of armor piercing, they don't trade particularly cost effectively. You know, they'll hold the line and fight for a long time, but the White Lions will eventually just, yeah, kind of run out of steam, especially with handgunner support. It's not great for them. So here you can see just all the other little units on the peripherals are getting taken care of. Dragon Princes coming in here, charging the Altdorf Gryphites. They did actually rally, and I'm not sure how long they've been stood here. It's a bit bizarre. But Fireborn are back, only 7, and they are exhausted and wavering. How much health do these guys have left? 400, split between 7 of them. That is not good. So more and more units are shattering. The Grey are just making sure none of this stuff comes back, and Spearmen are able to come in from behind. But I'm amazed these handgunners are still being allowed to stay alive. I would have tried to kill them straight away. Luckily, though, those Rights Guard have been dealt with. That's good news. So it doesn't look like the Empire have any more cavalry. So these archers should be able to just run out of ammunition now. Swordsman there coming in. Oh, but balance of power looks like it's shifting. And everything is wavering, and army losses hits. So pretty great match. I loved seeing both these builds. They both had excellent answers to one another. But I think just with the High Elves being able to put their back against the trees, it made it very difficult for the cavalry. And the fact that, you know, all the Empire cavalry, as great as they are, it is tough to be able to deal with things like Dragon Princes, and especially the Fireborn. That is tough. That is a tough nut to crack. Really, you know, you've got the advantage in numbers, so I think you've got to whittle down certain units and just try and keep these guys busy. Try and bait them onto something cheap. You know, get handgunner fire on them so you can use, you know, combined arms. You really need combined arms for the Empire. And unfortunately, the handgunners were just too far back. And amazingly, those White Lions did hold out for far too long to be able to bring support. So the cavalry engagement had basically finished by the time, you know, anything from the front line could move one way or the other, you know, for one side or the other. So it's very difficult. But I mean, Teclis just got absolutely murdered. The Witch Hunter is brutal. He is very good at dealing with something like Teclis. Just accusations and those great high damaging single shots, you know, from his pistol. Does a lot of work to something as squishy as Teclis. So very scary indeed. Hero Rome just couldn't keep him alive. But he was able to win out just because he was able to keep his archers safe. You know, his cavalry just about made it longer than Mace Windu's cavalry over here. You know, the Rights Guard and the Altdorf Gryphites, yeah, just took too much damage, unfortunately. I think it was absolutely genius play to get the Sisters of Avalon to take out the Gryphites first, because these were definitely the biggest threat. Definitely. So, absolutely wonderful. So, Hero Rome, thank you so much for sending this in. And guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.